Well, hey guys, I'm back, yes, for another video blog because Caroline Viktoria Cruze is here. So one of these weird things about me is after people have babies, I love to hear their birth stories. Okay, how long did you labor? Was it hard? Was it good? You know, did you go natural? Did you have an epidural? Like, I just love to hear people's stories because they're just so unique and different. So I thought, well, if I like to hear people's stories, maybe you guys want to hear this story, maybe not. So this video blog will have words like dilation and pushing. If that wigs you out, turn it off because you won't like this video blog. But all you ladies out there who appreciate a good birth story, Caroline was fast, to say the least. So with Amelia, my first, my water broke at home and within 6 hours she was here. And so she was pretty quick. So I knew with my second, statistically speaking, you go a whole lot faster. And not to mention that dilation, here comes the word. I had been dilated to like a 4 for like 3 weeks, you guys. I was like walking around at a 4. I mean, I was like, how is this baby not just like literally falling out of me? My doctor like told me in my appointments, like, okay, Rachel, you know, if X, Y, and Z starts happening, like you need to come straight to the hospital. Don't be one of these girls that like has to shower before and then pack. So I was fully prepared for that. So we went in, I guess I was 38 weeks for my appointments, and I was actually measuring small that week, so he wanted us to do an ultrasound just to like verify everything was okay, and it turned out that she was gonna be really small. And so then he wanted us to come back for an ultrasound. So the 38 week for me was like stressful because I was like, wait, what? Like this isn't just like a normal appointment and all of that. Because of that, she was only coming out to like the 6th percentile. And so they counted her as like a growth restriction baby, which is awesome for a 38-week pregnant woman. I wasn't in tears and freaking out, don't worry. So he said, okay, so at 39 weeks, let's just take her because I'd rather her be out and everything be fine. So we'll just break your water and you will go into labor quickly and all of that because you're so far progressed. Obviously that made me nervous, and just the idea of like kind of being induced I didn't want. And so those were my 2 big prayers through this delivery of that week of like, okay, I want her to be a healthy weight and be good, and I would love to go into labor naturally. I did that with Amelia, and I just kind of, you know, that's just what I wanted. It got to be like the day before I was going to go into the hospital, and I went in and he did this like procedure thing that he did with Amelia that put me in labor. So I was like, let's do that in the morning because with Amelia it worked, so that way I'll probably have a baby by lunch. That's what I thought on the Friday before. And so Winston's sister came in town because she's a doula, and I wasn't going natural, but she like loves birthing stuff. So she came in, a friend that was gonna do pictures, and then Winston's parents decided to come in. So we were like prepared for a baby on Friday, okay? You have to understand that. And I was mentally like, oh, it's gonna happen. No big deal. So I go in, do the procedure thing real quick, and then we're at home, and Charlotte, Winston's sister's like, okay, let's go on a walk. Let's like start like getting stuff to get this labor going. So I'm like halfway lazy, halfway wanting to do all this stuff, halfway just wanting to take a nap. So I kind of like was in and out of like trying to do stuff, but it got to be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and nothing was happening. And I was so discouraged. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I knew the next morning we were gonna go into the hospital, but I just, again, wanted it to happen naturally. So nothing was happening. I texted my doctor, nothing's happening. And he's like, I'm so sorry, but we'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Everything will be fine. And I was like, okay. So what do? We go out for pizza. Yes, we do. We go to pizza and we're eating dinner and everything's great. We get home, we visit with Winston's parents some, and then we go to bed at like 9:30. Well, 10:30, about an hour later, I'm still awake because I'm having a baby the next morning, you know, so of course you can't sleep. Well, I start having some Braxton Hicks, or what I thought, because I had some intense Braxton Hicks early on. And then it got to the point 30 minutes later where it was like uncomfortable, the point that I had to like get up. And then it got so bad that like, ladies, if you felt this, you know, I had to like audibly be like, ugh, like through them. Like it was so horrible. So I finally wake up Winston at 11 and I was like, babe, time this next contraction. And if it's a minute, like, I don't know. He's like half asleep. So I'm like, okay, it's starting. And I'm like over the side of this bed right here. And I'm like, oh, I hate my life. I can't believe this is happening right now. It's finished and I look over at him and I'm like, how long was it? I'd say like about 30 seconds. Sorry, you think about 30 seconds? No. How long was the contraction? I don't know, my clock's digital, so I couldn't see the seconds. Winston, get your phone out and please time the next contraction. And he claims that's when he knew I was in labor because I became mean. I became mean, Rachel, and I was mean during Amelia's labor too. So he timed the next one. It was like 1 minute and 2 seconds. And I was like, okay, if it's like 5 minutes apart, let's just go into the hospital. Well, it was like 5.5 minutes. The next one came and, and I was like, let's just go. I was like, I'm in so much pain. And again, I'm already far along. I'm gonna be getting my water broke anyways in a few hours. So let's just go. So we left the house at midnight and we're driving down the interstate and I'm timing myself on my phone. And I remember it was like about 5.5, 6 minutes apart. Then it got to be 5 minutes apart. And then by the time we got to the hospital, it was like 4 minutes apart. And I thought, dear God, please, I don't want to have a baby in a car. Get me to the hospital because it was downtown Nashville. And then number 2, I needed the epidural. I'm not going all natural. And if it gets too late, I heard all these horror stories about girls going in too late and they couldn't get the epidural. So I'm panicking in the car and I'm like, please just drive faster. I have to get this epidural. So we walk in and I'm in so much pain. We're filling out the paperwork and all that. And I tell the paperwork lady at the front, I was like, I need the epidural. She was like, okay, I don't do that. I just do paperwork, but we'll get you back there soon. So we go into triage, the sweet nurse, I grabbed her shoulder, have to get me this epidural. I can't do this any longer. And so she checked me and I was at a 7 at that point. So she was like, we gotta get you back. We gotta get blood work. So every nurse I saw, I was in the wheelchair. As people were passing, I was like, I need the epidural. Someone give me the epidural. So the anesthesiologist comes in. She was reading me off all of the cautionary things of what can happen if you have an epidural. And the last one, I remember she said, and at a very small percentage though, death is a possibility. And I looked at her, I go, I don't care. I got the epidural. And I remember I looked at the clock in the hospital, it was 1:30. And so it had been an hour and a half, it was 1:30. And they said, okay, in 15 minutes, you'll start feeling some relief. And about that time, it was great. And so my doctor came in then, checked me, and I was out of 10. He was like, okay, you're about to have a baby. When people say that, it's just crazy. That moment, you kind of go into the surreal, fogginess almost of, oh, I can't believe this is gonna happen. And so we had our moms in the delivery and our sisters party about to deliver and did one push and Winston's sister was like, she has so much hair. And I just started crying and I was like, oh my gosh, she's there. And so did one more push. And then the next one, he said, okay, don't push. Next contraction, she'll come out. And so she did. So it was boom. It was so fast. It all happened in it felt 30 seconds. And they lay her right on my chest immediately, and I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm crying, Winston's crying. All our moms and sisters are crying. It's this huge fest of I can't believe it. It's the craziest experience ever. And it's absolutely amazing. And then they went and weighed her. And I was like, okay, how much does she weigh? And my mom was like, she's 7'2". Because I thought she was going to be 5 something because of the growth restriction thing. And she was 7'2". And I started crying again. I was like, oh my gosh. It was just it was one of those moments where I was like, God, you are so good of the 2 specific prayers I had for this delivery, he totally answered. That was a sweet moment in that delivery room where I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And so, yeah, she came with a full head of hair and she's been so great. And so, yeah, it was an awesome delivery. A little scary because I thought I was gonna not get the epidural, but I got it. Thank you, Jesus, for that too. So there's the birth story of Caroline Viktoria Cruze. So Caroline is on my dad's side. That name from a great aunt or something. She's way random in the family tree, but we really like the name and it was in the family trees. Hopefully she's not crazy back in the 1800s, but and Victoria is spelled Viktoria. We did a K instead of a C. So Winston's grandmother is from Sweden. The name Victoria is all through the Swedish side of her family, and so it's spelled the Norwegian way with the K instead of the C. So Caroline Victoria. Amelia Jane is I feel a little southern, Amelia Jane Cruze, and then it's Caroline Victoria Cruze. Oh, I can be British, I feel it's a very proper name, so it's kind of fun. So sweet Amelia Jane, and she's doing well. People have asked about Amelia, and she's really done great. I really can't complain. I mean, she doesn't want to hold her all the time, I feel some kids do, but she always gives her her passy and her toy, and if she's crying, she's always Mommy, get her passy, Mommy, get her passy. She freaks out when she cries, but she comes and says good morning to her, and when we leave, she says bye Mommy, bye Caroline. So she's sweet with her, which I'm thankful for. So thanks you guys who stayed through the dilation and the pushing terms. I appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for following along and, commenting and all of that. Because even though I'm on maternity leave, trust me, at 3 a.m., I'm checking social media every now and then. And there's just some great, nice comments from you guys. So I really appreciate your encouragement and you following along on this journey. It's so fun. And so every other video now for the next couple months, you guys, it's going to be me pregnant. with her in me. Isn't that crazy? You know what she looks like. So when you see me, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's the baby in her. Oh, that stuff wigs me out. It's so crazy to me. So anyways, thanks again, you guys, and enjoy the rest of the video vlogs while I'm out on maternity leave. Hey guys, thanks for watching this YouTube video on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, hit the button, because again, so many new videos are gonna come out, even though I'll be home with her. New videos, we shot them already. They're fantastic. It's like the best.